So you're on a journey to upgrade your life. You have a great calling to make the world a better place. And you're smart enough and you're wise enough to know that you need outside help. For those of you new here, I'm Kai Clifford. I'm your spiritual guide and energy alchemist. I've been helping people heal for 14 years since I've gotten into my own healing journey. So that's a decade and a half now almost. And very quickly, when I first started working on healing my own PTSD, social anxiety, and mental health issues, I began to share it with others. And immediately I was getting people life-changing results. It's my gift, it's my zone of genius, and it's what I love to do the most. Now, I've been doing this 12 years professionally. The first 2 years I was giving it away and healing myself. And even after I started working professionally, of course, I was healing myself as well. So I have a lot of experience with dealing with negativity, with problems, mental health issues, chronic physical pain, and manifesting amazing opportunities into your life. So what's a session with me actually like? Because it's very different to what most people do. I have a deeply intuitive, high vibe sort of healing method where it's a mix of talk therapy. So it's like going to an actual coach. It's like going to a counselor or a therapist even, where you can share as little or as much as feels safe to you. We can actually do the healing without you having to share that much. Although people generally feel very safe with me. I'm a very non-judgmental person. I've been through the school of hard knocks. I've been through so many things and done so many bad things in my life that I had to learn to forgive myself for. So when I hear the things that other people have been through and even done in their lives that they regret, it doesn't faze me. So yeah, we will simply talk about what's important to you, what you want to create and call into your life. And we want to talk about your problems, what's holding you back, full stop. And then we go into your unconscious mind through your feelings, through the limiting beliefs that come up, which are just your thoughts. But basically we go in through your feelings. Now your feelings are like a trap door into your subconscious mind. And your feelings will talk to you when you know how to listen to your subconscious mind. So let's say that your feelings are of chronic pain, or maybe just overwhelm and anxiety because you want to do great in your business and you're not sure what to do. So either level, there's still a feeling, whether it's like chronic back pain or womb cramps or stomach spasms, which I've healed in multiple people. Like I know how to heal chronic pain. Or the feeling is the overwhelm or the resistance or some sort of problem in your relationship. We find the feeling in your body underneath that, and I guide you through a very specific process that takes you into the unconscious mind where your feelings will speak to you. For instance, the chronic pain, it has a message. It wants to talk to you. It's bossy. It has an opinion. And so do all the other parts of you as well. These are your sub-personalities. So we go into your unconscious mind and we may do inner child work, which is holographic memory manipulation. So when you're a child, our nervous systems, they cannot handle the amount of pressure and trauma that we go through. That's normalized by society. Now, it could be that you went through something super messed up. We can deal with that. Or you might be in the middle of the spectrum or on the other end of the spectrum where you're like, but I had a great childhood. I don't understand why I would have trauma. Well, it's very simple. As humans, we're not taught how to process our emotions. We're taught to stuff them down. And as a child, we get in trouble for being a certain way. Or even if we don't get in trouble, we might see that our parents are disappointed. They might withdraw their love. For some of us, our parents get very flustered and angry if we do a certain thing. For others, we might just not get the approval and we might get talked down to. Now, what this does is this makes us repress certain parts of our personality and hide it from others in our family so we can receive the love, security, and care that we need. It also makes us hide it from ourselves. So this is why people will have these hateful, judgmental parts of their personality while judging another person for having the exact same thing that they have inside of them, for doing the exact same thing, maybe same but different, in a different area of their life, sitting around judging, well, can you believe such and such did this? Well, you're literally doing the same thing in your life, but you can't see it because you've repressed it, because you don't want to look at it. And now we all have these things in various degrees. If you think that you don't have any issues, well, then you need this work more than anything. But if you're on this page, then likely you have enough insight, awareness, wisdom, and intelligence to understand that we all have stuff. And this is where 100% responsibility comes in. And what I will help you do in your life is see how you are responsible for creating every single thing that shows up in your life. Now, at first, this can be a bitter pill to swallow. It's like, oh, like what? Like, but what about, and you come up with all these things sometimes. Well, what about this thing that this person did? Or what about all the wars in the world? Okay, well, there are answers for all of that. But what matters right now is to understand that the way you show up, the way you talk to people, the energy, the tone you come from, the decisions you make, the way you react, and the expectations that you have in your belief system will literally, well, the expectations will literally draw that behavior out of them. So if you expect people to be mean to you and you're going to a social event and before you go, you already dread that, oh my God, this might not go well. You're going to act in a certain way that's going to draw that behavior out of you. And as for everything else, which is all really mixed together, but the other point to this is that your reactions, your responses, your beliefs, your ideas, your energy, your tone, it all determines what happens in the world. Like you might show up in a cranky mood and snap at someone, and then they'll react off you because they're a human too with their own triggers. And then that will cause a chain reaction for them to do something or maybe say something to someone who then maybe does something to you. You just don't know. But if you had have actually shown up that day and checked yourself spiritually, made sure that your mental hygiene, spiritual hygiene was on point, well, then you wouldn't have snapped. You'll get a better reaction out of the person. Maybe whatever mood they were in would thaw, or maybe they would project it onto somebody else and not onto you because you're not in that vibration. Now, this also comes down to your ideas, opportunities, and decisions. Because did you know that ideas are these sort of life forms that rove around the earth and they whoop, drop into people's heads or in their hearts? And this is why you don't want to think for an idea. You need to get in touch with the ultimate vision, the vision of what God, the divine, infinite spirit is putting into you, or if you prefer, your higher self. Doesn't matter what your spiritual beliefs are, as long as you believe there's some level of a higher power guiding you. Don't get caught up on my words and my beliefs. Just know we're all tapping into the higher power that guides us. We just have to understand it through our filter, and it will grow as you grow in your life and understanding of spirituality and learn your things. And sometimes we go down a bit of a wrong path and then learn some more things. So that's my sidetrack with spirituality. Just know that I am here to teach my clients how to tap into the divine, into the God force, into Jesus Christ, cosmic consciousness, infinite spirit, whichever ones you can get behind, remember? So it's really important to be tuning into the ultimate vision that the higher power has for you. And if you have a lot of doubts and fears in the way, we need to clear those. And we do that through energy work. I also use faith-based prayer, whichever word you get behind, as I said, I think 3 times now, whatever words you can get behind, we will pray, affirm, intend. We'll go into the spirit realm and change the fabric of reality. I merge you with your higher self, which is the part of you that thinks from love. Now remember, your higher self is not up there. It's higher in vibration. Your higher self is in here. So if we were to do some sessions together, it will be the most life-changing experience. Because while I do teach on spiritual law and even success principles and even literal business strategy, if that's something that you're into, or relationship strategy, communication tools. I have loads of communication tools, how to compassionately communicate to get your needs met, how to set boundaries, all these things in all sorts of areas. I can help you with literally creating a connection with your body so that you stop overriding what feels right for you, which causes chronic illness and lethargy and chronic fatigue, right? So all these sorts of things. But I'm not just teaching it to you. We are going into the place where you hold the actual holographic belief, the problem, the holographic, because reality is holographic, meaning that you believe this thing will happen, and in some form or another, it happens. Whether it's exactly as you imagine it or different, something in the vibe with the expectation level that you have of what can happen in society will always happen. This is the law of assumption, and it happens positively and negatively 24/7 hours a day. So we change your assumptions on the deepest level. So it's not just like, oh, I have to remember to think positive. No, we change your negativity so it's naturally positive. We bring up the fears, the doubts, the shadow. And I teach you how to use advanced and extremely intelligent communication method to speak to your negative parts, your usually subconscious in the unconscious under the surface, where it's running about and you can't see it. You don't want to see it because you don't want to look at it, and you've been told you just have to think positive, or you just don't know how to do it. Well, I'm going to teach you how to communicate with the fears you have, which are not just fears, they're you. It's just like me sitting here. Maybe one day I'm feeling positive and the next day I'm feeling negative. Well, that's me with some beliefs and some thoughts that's making me feel negative. This part's really important. And so our repressed sub-personalities, the stuff in our unconscious mind, our negative programs, are just almost as real as you and I sitting here. They have the same thinking capacity almost, and they are running under the surface with directives, ideas, memories, and then a vow that they made from that memory because of what happened. Like, there's a whole complex system. This is why you need to work with me, because it's not just as easy as, oh, just think positive, or just explore what's wrong. It really is about connecting with these deeper parts of you that are in a mood, and they have a belief system and an assumption. And we go in and we do inner child work or something similar, which I call character work. And I can tell you, you will change the fabric of what you really believe about yourself. And in the process, if you have any chronic pain, I will heal your chronic pain. Together, we will do it. I will show you how. It works every time, even if you have an injury, even if you have an x-ray proving it, even if the doctors told you had to have an operation. I've had so many people that were at their wits' end, believing that nothing would work, but a lot of them, out of desperation, they're like, fine, I'll try this. This probably won't work too. And they start the session going, well, I've tried everything. This won't work either. I'm like, okay, this will work. And it does, because we work with the emotional issues, not just underneath it, but that it's literally made up out of. Now, if you want to know more about that, for the science side, research Dr. John Sarno, research Dr. Bruce Lipton, chronic pain. Dr. Bruce Lipton, PhD. He's a forerunner. He is the expert in the world of genes and epigenetics. So he's the one that realized, that we're not controlled by our genes through science experiments where he wasn't even trying to prove it. It just happened to be a byproduct of his work. And he came out to the scientists all around him. He's like, this isn't actually true that genes control us. It's not true. The environment controls us. And a big part of the environment is your belief system, your thoughts, your moods. Your mood is like weather. And by the way, your emotions are meant to be moving through your body like weather, not stuck in your throat, or a heaviness in your heart, or a nausea in your belly. We go in and we process that, we transmute it, and we turn it back into weather that moves. And so your mood is like weather. If you have a big stormy mood, and it might even be so under the surface, it's always there in some area of your personality, you always have this part that either secretly feels overwhelmed by life, or secretly feels like life is a fight, or secretly feels disappointed somewhere in your system. And it feels so normal that you do not even know it's there. So in our sessions, as we clear this stuff and upgrade and update your belief system, the way you see life, you have a radical change of perception, especially when we compound these sessions over time, like saving up in a spiritual bank account for a great big holiday, like learning how to play the piano to become an expert pianist, the violin to become an expert violinist, learning, what's the other one? Like a language, like Chinese or Italian. It doesn't just happen in a session. Same as wanting to lose 40 pounds at the gym. You don't just go to the gym and go, okay, well, I just want one session. I just want 5 sessions. No. Same as having a shower. You don't just say, I'm going to have a shower once and that's it. No. Our emotions build up, my darling. They build up. The cortisol, the stress, all the other things. They just build up in your system and they create emotional gunk. This is why when you try to be positive, if you've done like positivity work in a journal and stuff, there's only so many days or weeks at most you can do it for until you start feeling and you don't know what to do. So you just stop journaling. It's because you're meant to be diving into the negative, but you have to dance with the shadow. You have to know how to walk it up those steps into positivity. And the results, well, one, peace is the prize. You feel like you would not, for how you feel after a series of my sessions, I promise you this. If somebody offered you $10 million to go back to how you used to feel, you wouldn't take it. You would not take it. You'd be like, no, thank you. That was a nightmare. Even if your life was pretty good, compared to how you feel after, the lightness you feel, which cannot be described for how great it is until you actually feel it and you go, oh, I feel so light. That's not just like, oh yeah, I feel light. It's like the most amazing feeling on earth. And people know that everything is possible. And then the things you just start doing in your life line up. You just start making the right decisions. People start contacting you. Do you know how many times after or even during a session that I've done with someone on relationships where they've been in a fight with someone or just had like a discord? They get a text, they get an email, they get a call from the person apologizing within minutes to 3 days of the session. Someone that they haven't heard from sometimes for years will message them out of the blue to apologize, because we're all psychically connected in this field of reality through the 0 point field, through the super conscious, through God, whichever terms you like to think of it. We are connected. Same as you'll have some pattern in your business going for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden you work with me and then things just start shifting. People will just start messaging you to hire you, or your following will blow up, or something else in your life will happen. Maybe a relationship that, you were sort of banging your head against the wall with, just wanting that person to change or be nicer to you or grow up in some way. They will change. It happens all the time. It's like miracles with this work. You do have to put the work in though. I'm not going to just zap you with energy. You have to feel your own feelings. You have to breathe your own breaths into your body, to breathe in that breathing life force energy to help release the trauma from your body. You have to be willing to look at what's wrong. And you have to be willing to do the rest of it too. But guess what? I'm there guiding you every step of the way. I'm showing you exactly where to look. I'm even helping you transmute the energy with my own energy in like biofield healing, in a biofield healing type of way. I'm also praying for you. I'm using prayer, intention. I'm guiding you if any painful emotions come up. I'm guiding you to feel them. And by the end, sometimes, especially in the beginning, you will feel wiped out. But this is a really good way of being wiped out, because it just means you've released so much negative energy. You're deflated because you're not being held up by that old negative energy. But then when you rest, when you sleep, you're being filled back up. But because we released all the gunk from your system, you now have space in your system, literally more space in your atoms. And God, the divine, infinite spirit, the 0 point field, it fills you up. And this is an intelligence that you think from. So this is why, if you are a leader, if you're a change maker, if you're someone here to wake people up, or you simply know that you have a desire to do good in the world, then there is nothing better you can do than work with me. I know for a fact, because over the last decade and a half, I've received so many messages from clients, even just from followers who do my free stuff on YouTube or my home study programs, tell me story after story after story after story of how their life has changed. Like this is just a follow on YouTube. She messaged me saying, I've been doing your stuff for 2 years. And she's like, I didn't change anything else in my life. All I did was add in your tapping videos, my energy alchemy videos. And over those 2 years, she went from, her and her husband were almost about to divorce. They couldn't get it together. They couldn't connect anymore. And her business was failing. She wasn't able to get it together either. Her husband was feeling pressured at work. So in those 2 years, her husband and her reconciled, became close again. she got pregnant, and she actually messaged me while she was pregnant saying, and I'm actually pregnant. This is so exciting. She, in her business, clients started coming out of the woodwork to contact her. She felt energized. She felt inspired. She knew what to write in her business because she cleared all the limiting beliefs in the way, up-leveled her energy and connected with the divine. And her husband got a promotion at work, but more than that, for some reason, he got a bigger bonus and a bigger raise than anybody else in the company in his position. Another woman, she was one of my clients. She was doing money work with me. Money work. And we're working on her self-worth issues and her perceptions about money and all that sort of stuff. She was doing private work. She was doing my recorded sessions and my live group healings. And she really went all in. And now this is a lady who she had asthma whole life, chronic asthma. And what's more, she lived in the mountains with her husband and kids in an actual mountain. So they'll walk out the back door and go hiking up the mountain. And my client, if she tried to go with them, she would have an asthma attack. When it would just made her feel so terrible because she couldn't go on this beautiful adventure with her family. She's a very family-oriented person. And now lungs are grief. Now, I had a chronic lung disease that I healed myself from miraculously back in 2011, but it wasn't just like zapping with energy. I had to do the energy work to clear it. And it's amazing. It works, guys. And so she was actually tapping to money stuff. This was back years and years and years and years ago, before I thought to ask people when they come to me with their business, money stuff, visibility stuff, relationship stuff, etc. I now know to always ask, do you have any chronic pain? And then, because we work through that, because everything's connected. When I heal your chronic pain, your stuff in your business will also explode. Your stuff in your relationship will improve. So the chronic pain is like the flower of the main problem. So if you have an emotional problem and it gets really compounded and really big and you ignore it for so long and you think you can't change it and you don't know what to do about it, it compounds and it builds in your body. Sort of like a tree growing a flower. The chronic pain feeling is the flower of your problem. So we go into the flower, go into the door of the pain, and we do it there. Now, you don't have to have chronic pain to work with me. You can also have just anxiety, overwhelm. You may just want to expand in your life and just keep going to higher levels, have more brilliance and access to your genius. It all works the same. Okay, so my client, during one of her tapping sessions, all of a sudden she felt this big pressure in her chest. And it was getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then all of a sudden her chest, her lungs went pop in a really cathartic, good feeling way. And she says right after that pop, she went like that. She went, I took my first deep breath of my life. My first deep breath that I can remember. And she sent me some videos, which I have online somewhere, of her crying in tears, thanking me for changing her life. She could not get through a video without literally like blubbering in a very heartfelt and beautiful way. This work works. I had another client come to me, fear of being on video. She used to do videos, but then she got out of it, and now she just started freezing on camera. Every time she hit record, she'd just freeze. Okay, well, she came to work with me, and after we went into the anxiety, into the fear of judgment, into all the things, she very quickly, I think after the first session, started filming video. And we just kept working through it for a bit longer as we worked together. And yeah, her whole mentality changed. She felt more comfortable, and she started using her YouTube channel regularly. Now, of course, she still had to show up for it, but the fact is, before our work, she couldn't show up for it. She wasn't doing it. She kept trying and she just couldn't get herself to do it. Now, several years later, she now has 185,000 YouTube subscribers and a thriving community because she dealt with her fears of showing up. So whether you're doing video now already, or you just want to, and you just want to get better, more confident, more magnetic, more able to be your real self, then work with me. I could tell you, I could never have done this in the past. I used to freeze like 10 years ago. And I mean, it's been a journey. It's really been a journey to get this comfortable on video. And that's what you do. Whatever your problem is, we do the inner work on it, the energy alchemy. And then you go out into the world and then you experience the problem. And then it's sort of like, it's like usually a bit better, but like maybe at first it's a bit janky, just like it usually is. And then you come back and then we workshop on the problems. And then you go back out, and whether it's a conversation in your relationship, doing video, thriving in your business, listening to your body so you don't get pain attacks, whatever it is, you come back and then we workshop through what happened over that last week. We go into a deep healing, usually an inner child healing, or the other one I said, the character healing, which I do. Very two powerful, very similar things. So where you connect with your body and you talk to your sub-personalities, you change your holographic framework within you. So, my session's super high vibe. You might cry, you might laugh, you might definitely burp and yawn because that's releasing the negative programs. It's called off-gassing. It's a real thing. And you will definitely have great ideas. You will feel energized. You, at first, might feel a bit tired, but then you sleep and you wake up feeling better. In the very beginning, you might have some weird things come up because they're things that need to be healed. When you ask for healing, you don't just zap it out of existence. You have to actually face the things within you and unpack them and learn how to deal with them. But because you've got me there, I can guide you through it, show exactly where you need to look, show you things that you can't see because it's in your unconscious. And what does unconscious mean? It's subconscious is a better way to explain it. What does your subconscious mean? Sub is like a submarine under the surface. So you cannot see it. You can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see the ways in which you act like your mother. You can't see the ways in which you snap at people. You can't see the ways in which something that is in your belief system that feels so normal isn't. And we just find it and we shift it and we change it and we shift your personality. So if you want to come on a journey with me, start, I recommend, with a single session, or you can jump into a full journey, like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. And I can tell you the time will pass anyway. If you think you do not have the time to do this, well, you need it even more because you have to change your life first to get off the hamster wheel of life. And I can tell you, nothing is more valuable than committing to changing your moods, emotions, beliefs, assumptions, because life always changes with you. And I'm the best support that a person can have. As long as you are a sort of wonderful weirdo, you're not really one of the normals that believe in all of the media propaganda. You understand that there's much more to life and you are here to make a difference. Whether it's literally in business or in your community, whichever level you're at, I'm for you. If you're the type of person that has a big heart, is a spiritual person, you want to grow, you're wise enough and you're smart enough to know that everybody needs to be doing their inner healing work, whether they think they should or not. It's just you're smart enough, committed enough, and wise enough to actually do it. Okay, so we all need support. If you want my help, send me a message. Let's talk about how my journeys can help you, my spiritual success journey, my pain freedom healing journey. Whichever problem you have in your life and whatever you want to call in and create in your life, I can help you. So as you know, I'm Kai Clifford. I'm your spiritual guide and energy alchemist. Let's have a no pressure, no obligation chat to see how my work can radically transform your life in multiple areas at the same time, things that you want and that you hope for, plus opportunities will drop into your lap that you didn't even expect, that you're so happy when they arrive. This is how this work works. When we clear all the things in the way, then you just naturally attract your desires and what it is that you're meant to attract into your life. So you have a great day, and I'll talk to you on Messenger.